Hey everyone, Dr. Luke here, the Twin Flame Doctor. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing what is it the keys that you actually have to embody to ultimately create that twin flame reunion. So first we have to understand is that the twin flame reunion starts within first. And in order to be able to do that, we have to have the self-awareness. That's where truly having the self-awareness of our own mistakes, our own judgments, our own, mishaps is really where it's going to start to unlock the emotional safety then within ourselves to start to process these unhealed traumas, these unhealed emotions, and a lot of things that we ultimately end up blaming on our twin flame. Because throughout this process and this journey, what you ultimately are going to find is a lot of the judgments or the issues within the relationship actually started within, and we ultimately outwardly project them onto our twin flame and blame them for our weaknesses or our shortcomings. But what we fail to understand is, again, that our weaknesses are typically their strengths, and it's that which we have to actually embody. And it's understanding, again, the self-awareness to what are my mistakes? What have I done? And this is where we really bring into the emotional regulation aspect when it comes into the twin flame. So while this is a spiritual journey, we can use hard science to actually help us on this journey. And this is where I like to use polyvagal theory. The vagus nerve is the longest of the 12 cranial nerves, and it's actually that mind-body connection that we're often talking about. And what we have to understand, though, is what polyvagal theory teaches us is that 80% of the neurons from the vagus nerve go up to the brain and only 20% go back down from the brain to the body. So what does that tell us? It tells us that we are an emotional being and an emotional body, that we often think that we're all heady and we're all logic. But in reality, there is no such thing as logic. That truly the key to healing and the key to inner union is having that emotional regulation to start to have that self-awareness, to have that emotional safety, to start to create that psychological safety within yourself, that ultimately that's going to start to lead to healing. And those are just the first 2 steps within my 5-step system that I've created in my course, Relationship Restoration, that really digs in deep to the intricacies and uses hard science to actually understand this journey and how you can actually unlock your greatest potential within your birth chart and really start to understand your own twin flames struggles as well. But first, it starts with the recognition of what are the mistakes I'm making, like our confirmation bias, our FAE bias, playing the victim mindset, and all the different deadly illusions that we covered in depth within my relationship restoration program. So again, the key to this inner union and ultimately bringing back union within the twin flame connection is understanding first what mistakes did I make, where did I go wrong, and it's that awareness of myself emotionally that we ultimately need to bring the energetic aspect back to ourselves so that we quit being in this chasing energy that is ultimately pushing our twin flame away, that we literally want to magnetize and track them back in. And that starts again with the self, because we have to understand again, there's science behind all of this. So when we have a coherent brain and a coherent heart, the brain vibrationally can only resonate about an inch from the head. So that means we can resonate and actually test the energy resonating only about an inch from the head. But when we have a coherent heart will actually resonate 3 to 6 feet from our body, literally magnetizing people in. And the odd part is you can't externally make that happen. Magnetizing someone in through a heart space centered and heart space living really takes that inner focus of self-love, that space of loving yourself, flaws and all, and not allowing them to be excuses to continue to hurt others, but using those flaws or mistakes as a growing point and a means to really bring us back together as a whole first, so then I can start to understand them and we can ultimately come back together within a union. So again, if you'd like more information on how I can help you reignite your twin flame union, please click the link below to schedule a consultation for my relationship restoration program. And I'll see y'all in the next video.